Security, escort this gentleman out, please.
Come on, Soda Pop, let's go.
Neitzert.
I have two items today. The first is I wanted to talk about the city's use of YouTube to educate the public. First of all, I want to say it's wonderful. There's been some wonderful videos that have been released lately, and I would highly commend that everybody go and watch the video on the River Greenway that was published last week. It's about a half hour long. It's a great history lesson. It gives you a really good appreciation, and all citizens should watch the video. It's fantastic. I can't commend it more. The other item I had was, as far as the administrative building, I just wanted to know where we were at with that, and if we have hearings scheduled, and if we're continuing to keep the discussion moving.
Okay. Councilor Staley, did you have something else?
Yes, thank you. And this being the first 4 o'clock for those of us newly sworn in, I did want to say that the staff, Tom Greco, Jim David, and David Bixler have been so very helpful in training us. There's a big learning curve here, and I've had other council members reach out to me and say, can I help? And so I say thank you so much. And Councilwoman Christine Erickson, I think that having the Planning Commission's vote on there is also very, very helpful for those of us coming on board. There are two things I want to talk about tonight. And by the way, I also, as you know, I'm a big advocate of public input for the citizens. And this, as my understanding is, this is the only time we have as a council to discuss things together. So I think this is a really wonderful opportunity. Something I want to talk about right out of the get-go is the temperature. The 7 o'clock temperature in this room. I've been sitting here as a citizen for years, freezing. And I have heard from other constituents, I have heard from staff that it's very cold in here. And like right now, I think the temperature is very comfortable, but something happens at 7 o'clock and it changes. And so I've asked Jim David to look into that to say, could we have some kind of compromise if there is in fact something changing after the informational meeting, that we could maybe just raise the temperature just so we're all a little more comfortable, and our wonderful citizens coming in here are also comfortable. And secondly, I had the wonderful opportunity last Friday to sit in on the directors meeting. I didn't even know that this existed as a citizen. And I think every council member should be able to be present at that, but I understand there's an open meetings issue with that. But it was fabulous to hear these people talking at the grassroots level about these things that are emerging. And oftentimes as citizens, we don't hear about that until it's out of the get-go. So I was able to hear the department heads dialoguing about this. It was so exciting, and I'm hoping to be able to sit in on more of these. But I also am aware that there is a mayor's meeting that happens, and that leadership is invited to those meetings, which would be the chair and the vice chair, and sometimes a third council member gets to go as well. Now, I had an opportunity to talk with Tam Baker, a dear friend, who was a council member in the first council after the charter was established, and she said when she was the chair and went in with the mayor that they took notes. And then those notes were actually brought back and discussed at a 4 o'clock. So all the council members shared the same information. To me, that's open and transparent government. And then I've been talking with people, and I guess there have been other leadership people who have also taken notes and communicated that back to the council. And then most recently, that kind of got dropped. So there becomes a disconnect to what is happening with the mayor and getting that information back to us. So I would like to propose that we have David Bixler, or excuse me, Jim David, go in as a third person and take notes at any mayor's meeting that we have leadership at. And if at the very least, I think there should be someone taking notes so we all are informed about that. I mean, that's my feeling. So I'd like to hear what you have to say.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, Councilor Urban-Bach.
Thank you, and I appreciate Councilor Staley. It's a wonderful. It is a great experience to be able to be in on those early conversations about topics. Part of the reason that citizens don't know about that Friday morning meeting is that it's an internal meeting, and it does involve a small number of council members because of open meeting laws. There's things that are discussed there that don't ever see the light of day. It's just how that works. Welcome to city government. But in terms of the Friday morning meeting with the mayor, when I was chair several years ago, I was involved with that very heavily, and we would take detailed notes. And Councillor Rolfing, I'm hoping that my colleagues will support him as chair. He has agreed that that is also something that should be done, that notes should come out of that meeting for us to have those. Again, as you said, we need to have the same level of information for all council members, but I would beg that we not have a staff member in that meeting. It's not appropriate for the staff member to be involved. One of the things that we talk a lot about is that the elected officials in this community have a different relationship than our staff people do. That would be an inappropriate situation for a staff member to be involved with, and I just ask that we keep it to the elected officials that are in that meeting.
Yes, Councilor.
Then could I ask for clarification on that third council member? Because I know recently there have been 3 council members in the meeting with the mayor. So what is the policy on that? I think there should be some
It's state
consistency.
law. It's a state law that if 5 of us are together, we have a
No,
quorum.
no, I'm
It's a
saying
public-
that there
the
have
mayor-
been 3. Will we continue to have 3
The mayor
council
makes that
members?
4th person so that it's,
Right, but will we
It's a
have
quorum
3,
issue.
will there be 3 people?
that's a,
No, there will be 2 unless the mayor invites another one. We have to remember that that is a meeting that the mayor holds. He has the right to invite who he wishes, and at this point, he invites the leadership. If something else is needed, then that will be brought to his attention or to our attention. And so that's the way that meeting is set up. And I will apologize somewhat because I did not take notes as vice chairman during those meetings during this last year, simply because we didn't have many of them. When it became evident or looked like I was going to take over and a little different situation, I thought it was important to get those. I think it's important to meet with the mayor on a regular basis. I think Councilor Kiley will back me up on this, that it's important for us to meet even if there isn't something large looming on the agenda. So I committed to writing notes, taking those notes as you had asked, and I think I started last week getting those out to people, and those will be coming on a regular basis when we do meet. So that's taken care of. That's taken care of. And so it would be not right on our part to tell the mayor who will be joining him on this on meetings when it's his meeting. And so that's the way we go about it now. Did you have another comment?
if I might, just kind of assure citizens that this is not some big conspiracy meeting going on. It really is about relationships. It's very often, especially with the mayor and leadership, it's really about, how things are going, what just sort of relationship building as much as anything. It isn't necessarily talking about policy or anything that's coming down the pike, although sometimes it is. I would just remind folks then as well that you can also, as a city council member, call the mayor up.
Sure.
And say, what, can I have coffee? Can we get together? You can have that kind of relationship with the elected leader in the community. And so I just, as a city council member, encourage you to, take this on yourself as well. But as a group, we really rely on our leadership to be our representative with the mayor.
Thank you. Yes.
But just one more thing, I think it would be also, you talked,
Right up to they'll pick it up.
talking about you talked about building relationships. I think it would be nice if it was a rotational thing where he would invite all of us in at some point,
Again, Counselor, I'm going to remind you that it's the mayor's meeting, not ours. He wants leadership there, and that's where we're at with it at this point. If you would like to look at making some changes there, I would encourage you to go talk to the mayor.
Thank you.
Okay? Thank you.
Mr. Ruffing.
Yes.
Councilman
Counselor
Ruffin.
Erickson.
Just point of clarification, are you only talking about the meeting with the mayor, or are you also talking about the directors' meetings?
No, I'm assuming the directors' meeting, there are 3, right? Another person gets to, the directors' meeting, another council member gets to come, right, in addition to leadership?
Generally, and I've indicated to you that there'll be a new policy on that, so that that will be a rotating situation.
Good. Well, I just think it's good for the public to know that, too.
Fine.
I will just add to that generally with the directors meeting, that if there's another counselor who has aspired to move eventually into leadership, it's been customary for that customer or counselor to attend those meetings, which I have been doing much of this past year. And it is, as we've addressed we do see the value in allowing others to attend, and so we are going to establish a rotational system in which they have that opportunity to do so.
Counselor Erickson, did you have something else? Okay. Thank you. Did we answer most of your questions? Okay, super, thank you.
Y'all come back now. Here.
What kind of morons run this outfit?